Welcome to the 56th annual Hillsborough Concours d'Elegance. This year, they're featuring the beautiful Cadillac and the gorgeous Rolls-Royce, two luxury marquees that represent just the finest in automotive history. We, of course, have the American variety being the Cadillac and the English variety being the Rolls-Royce. That's not the only marquee type that we'll see here today. There are cars from yesteryear right up until today. So let us take you on a tour and let us visit the beautiful Hillsborough Concours d'Elegance. What really happens here at these events is these cars come in and are fully judged for complete functionality. So this is a 1931 Bentley, and they've gone through the headlights to see if the high beams and the low beams work. They've checked the brakes. They've listened to the motor run. They checked the directionals that these cars actually had back in those days. So this is a beautiful, beautiful piece of machinery. And as you can see, the horn works. Of course, everything is tested right up to the horn. Ivan, this is a beautiful, beautiful Bentley, and I saw the judges, so we were watching the judges, so you have to watch the judges very carefully. They're looking for every possible flaw they can find, rather than seeing how perfect this car is. Tell us more about this car.
This car is a custom coach-built Radford Countryman Saloon, and this was one of 9 cars that were built by Radford. It's an all-aluminum bodied car, which was extremely rare because Radford used to do a lot of custom conversions to the standard steel bodied cars, but he only built a handful of the full-bodied Radfords, this being one of them. And of the 9 cars that were built, this was the only one. This is a one-off. The other 8 that were built with this body style were all hatchbacks, which meant that the rear seats would fold down. And the reason he built them as hatchbacks is because English taxes in the 50s were so high, it was almost a third of the cost of the car, that if the car had at least 9 cubic feet of cargo space, they could pass them off as commercial vehicles.
Oh, perfect.
Exempt of the taxes.
I know how that works. I have a Jaguar XJS where they put back seats in it. You can't put a person in the back seats, but because of insurance reasons, when you put the seats in, it's not a sports car anymore. So I get that.
So this is typically what happened. But this one, when he built it for a school chum of his by the name of E.G. Bailey, who was the president of the Hartford Syndicate Limited Company in England. And Radford's parents and Bailey's parents were very, very close. And so there were a lot of touches that were done on this particular car that were not done on any of the other Radfords.
Nice to be a friend of the designer of the car. It would sound like both the hatchback approach and aluminum were probably pretty progressive in its day. Is that true?
Most of the custom coach builders would build our cars in aluminum because it was easy to work, easy to hammer, and style the bodies that they were doing. That wasn't unusual, but what was unusual about Radford's cars is he built so few of them that it was very, very rare to have a full-bodied Radford, because he was more into converting other cars and doing custom stuff to cars. He was involved with doing the seats to the GT40 originally, and he would do things like custom gun racks and fishing pole carriers on the cars, and he would extend the boot in the event that you weren't happy with your boot. He would actually extend the whole back end of the cars on steel-bodied cars. So he was doing a lot of custom work, but not so much into full-bodied cars.
Okay. So thank you. I'm learning a lot of things here. So how about let's go through some of the precious details that you've got with this car.
Yeah, the reason I brought you on this side of the car is because of the unique lines that this car has on the outside. If you notice that the lines carry to the rear fender, and then it carries again on the rear spat, which is a very, very unique detail in the way of the car. The car also, if you notice this sideline, he also carries the same sideline on the interior upholstery on the door panels. So if you look at the front and the rear door panels, this same sweeping line is also on the door panels as well. The car also has a little cubby compartment which has a folding beveled glass mirror in it, chrome framed, and the car came equipped with an electric shaver that actually plugs into the front of the dash. That was part of the custom coach work that he did. And on this particular one, it also has full twin bucket seats, where some of the other Radfords were basically bench seat. They were very, very plain. This has a tuck and roll. The rear seats, being very common, has the eating trays in there, but it also has little folding mirrors so the ladies could do their makeup in the back. It came with, again, all custom handles that were all made out of brass, chrome plated, and then the ashtrays. The car also came equipped with front power windows, which was very rare in 1951. And that was done just on the front doors. Because of the size of the motors and the limit switches, they couldn't put it into the rear doors, so the rear doors remained crank-ups. And what else? Of course, it's got folding armrests in the back, and the car also has sunroof, which was common for the Mark 6s, but so the differences on this one and the fact that it was a one-off is the whole back end when he built this, because of the fact that the body in the rear was different because of the hatchback scenario. He had to rebody the back end on this to incorporate what was a standard boot. And the standard boot now also incorporated a slide-out picnic table with this fancy woodwork in the back. It also has a 3-bottle wine rack, which is in one of the compartments on the left here. And all the fancy woodwork that...
How about if we just shoot you taking a look at the different elements here, and I'll hold the microphone for that, because I saw when the judges came by just how beautiful all the elements of this are.
We have the tools here, and then this houses this sliding table, which I'm restoring this year, and that basically slides into the compartment here, and this closes down. The 3-bottle wine rack is in here. I'm also restoring the that right now as well, so it's non-showable at this point. So, and then this is just a compartment that allows you to get to the lights to be able to service them if you need to.
What extraordinary craftsmanship for those days. It doesn't seem like we have those kind of craftsmen around anymore, but it's wonderful to see this iteration that's so unique and so beautiful.
So this car was, of all the Radfords built, the most expensive of the Radfords. It sold for 7,266 pounds back in '51, which I believe at the time was close to about $20,000, which would have bought you a couple homes on the peninsula here. So it was really an expensive car.
Well, Ivan, thank you. This is so beautiful. We've really enjoyed your tour here. One little last question. Who did all the restoration work?
I did about 90% of the restoration myself. So was done by San Carlos Industrial Plating, and that was about it. So.
All right, just to show the level of passion, how many years invested in this restoration so far by you?
11 and a half years to get it to this point, and I'm still working on her.
Thanks, Ivan. That goes to show the passion that you have to have when you've got these beautiful pieces of machinery. Thank you so much.
Today, Sotheby's International Realty, bringing new technology to a 200-year-old tradition while serving the San Francisco Peninsula, Silicon Valley, and clientele worldwide.